Please welcome back. She is a Southbury resident, a history teacher and author, LeeAnn Prete.
Woo!
Do you want me to tip this? Small but mighty. Thank you. I recently read an interview with Linda Carter. Many of us who grew up in the 1970s were in awe of the power she yielded with a mere twirl and throw of her golden lasso as the original Wonder Woman. Carter, now 72, revealed that she serves on the advisory board of the Smithsonian's American Women's History Museum. While the museum is not set to open until 2030, its digital exhibition, titled Becoming Visible, poses the question, why does it seem like women's history has been written in disappearing ink? After all, women have contributed to all major events and developments in history, and their contributions have been well documented in their work, their speeches, their writings, and their images. Why then aren't their stories more prominently captured in our history books? I, for one, can't wait to make the trek to DC to explore the museum when it opens. I can't help but wonder which women's stories will be included. Surely we'll see exhibits from the famous American women like Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Harriet Tubman, Susan B. Anthony, Ida B. Wells Barnett, Margaret Sanger, Amelia Earhart, Rosa Parks, Betty Friedan, Sandra Day O'Connor, and of course, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But what about the lesser-known women, the ones whose stories have been written in disappearing ink? Having recently seen the film about her, I certainly hope Francesca Cabrini story is included. If you're not familiar with her story, Mother Cabrini emigrated to the United States from Italy at the turn of the 20th century on a mission to create orphanages and hospitals for fellow Italians and other less desirable immigrants of the time. She went on to build a vast multinational social justice support network, the largest the world has ever known. Cabrini refused to take no for an answer, and at least in the film was told repeatedly that she would have made a good man. Her response? Men cannot do what we do. It gave me goosebumps, and it felt like a timeless universal truth, but thinking that seemed kind of sexist. I asked my female friends and colleagues if they thought that men cannot do what women do. All agreed it was true. I pressed further, what can't men do that women do? Predictably, most gave a response relating to the discomfort of pregnancy or the pain of childbirth, some version of how the human race would die out if men were asked to bear children. I actually don't buy that. I think men would get used to it if they had to. Here's what I think men would struggle with: maintaining patience and grit while navigating around and hurdling over endless obstacles to achieve varying degrees of success, all the while being constantly underestimated, undermined, undervalued, and having to do it with a smile and pleasant intonations. That's what women still have to do. One only has to look at statistics about the percentage of women holding elected offices or CEO titles, earning equal pay compared to their male counterparts, or whose employment is more impacted by child-rearing responsibilities to understand this. The numbers don't lie, but women have and will continue to persevere despite them. Hedy Lamarr was more than a beautiful actress. She was an inventor whose frequency-hopping technology not only guided missiles during World War II, it paved the way for GPS, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth technologies. Caller ID and fiber optic cables exist because of Shirley Ann Jackson. Mary Anderson invented windshield wipers. Asima Chatterjee researched and developed drugs to treat malaria and epilepsy. The International Space Station is powered because of the invention of Olga Gonzalez Sanabria. I hope these women's stories aren't written in disappearing ink. I noticed an awesome trend this year during Women's History Month. Organizations acknowledging and honoring their own female employees. A dear friend and former Southbury resident, Karen Kirk, was celebrated for her dedication and innovation that drives her company forward. Karen noted that her role models growing up and in the workplace were those women who successfully managed to have a job and raise children without getting burnt out or overwhelmed. I certainly hope Karen's story and the collective stories of all of the women who give our world inspiration, innovation, and yes, life itself are written in permanent ink and somehow make their way into the Smithsonian American Women's History Museum. For each of them is a Wonder Woman in their own right, with or without a golden lasso. Thank you.